With new markets burgeoning in the Middle East, Russia and China, both Sotheby's and Christie's have been achieving highly publicised record results. In fact, an investor recently paid $142 million at Christie's in New York for Francis Bacon's 3 Studies of Lucian Freud. And this is just one of a raft of record results. To give some perspective on the high-end international art market, I recently caught up with Georgina Pemberton, a director of Sotheby's Impressionist Department in London. Georgie, thank you so much for giving us your time this afternoon.
Well, it's gorgeous to see you and very nice to have you here in London.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's an exciting afternoon for you, isn't it? It's your first auction since you've been back at Sotheby's. It's your first auction in London.
It is. I'm back on the rostrum, so it's been a few years, so I'm looking forward to it. A little bit nervous, but it's always fun actually selling what you're valuing. So when you're actually consigning works for auction, it's a great thing to be able to say to the person who is entrusting you with their works of art, to say that not only will you be there throughout the whole process of promoting the work, marketing the work, it's quite fun to be able to say it will be me on the rostrum selling your work at the end of the day.
And who better than you, Georgie, to be entrusted to sell these magnificent works of art.
To squeeze every last bid out of the room.
Well done, that's your job, babe.
Yeah.
So your summer series was extraordinary this year, I believe. Tell me about that.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty mind-blowing. We had our summer series is just finished, and our global sales, which included our Impressionist and Modern Art department, the Old Master and British Paintings department, and the Contemporary department, did a staggering £288 million worth of art in about a 2-week period here at Bond Street, which was very exciting. And one of the major highlights, in fact, it was the highest priced work to be sold across the season, was Monet's Le Palais Contarini, which was from Monet's Venice period in 1908, and that sold for almost £20 million.
An exquisite painting. It must be so exciting when you actually become involved in the whole process of, well, selling these works, marketing them. I mean, the whole place must be buzzing.
Well, it is, and it's what's changed for me since working in London all those years ago is it's become so global, so international, and for me that's really exciting that I've got clients on the phone in Brazil or in Taiwan or in fact Australia, and so it makes it very, very buzzy for us to be reaching really all corners of the globe. I mean, interestingly, in this latest round of sales, 1 in 6 buyers were new to Sotheby's. 1 in 6 buyers were from Asia, Russia and the Middle East. So I mean it's more international than ever.
What are some of the, I suppose, areas that you see coming on? Where do you see some changes occurring in the market?
Well, I think there's some really exciting opportunities within the Impressionist and Modern Art department. There's a lot of buzz around the contemporary scene, and
Absolutely.
it is very exciting, very dynamic and robust. But there are areas within these departments which can be really interesting to look at. For us, I mean, I keep thinking I should buy one myself. You know, Picasso, late works on paper.
I haven't bought a Picasso for years. What a great idea. Let's buy one together. Yeah.
We'll go halves up.
Oh, fantastic.
Miro works on paper. I mean, some of these, you know, for a modest drawing, they're starting at £20,000,
which is very good.
In the scheme of things isn't an enormous investment, and yet you're buying original work by one of the greatest artists the world has ever seen. I also think there's opportunities in some of the German expressionist artists. The prices have come back a little bit for artists like George Gross, Otto Dix, who were doing extraordinary things around the First World War. There's a bit of a sort of, I suppose, focus on 1913, speaking of sort of the First World War period, because it's obviously the centenary and things, and it really is, a lot of people would argue that 1913 is the birth of modernism, of modern art. So there's some really interesting exhibitions on at the moment, one at the Henry Moore Foundation in Leeds, just focusing on that year, and I think that will probably reinvigorate the market in that area, which I think has been ignored for a little while.
Well, Georgie, one thing that really has been playing on my mind throughout this entire interview is what's been your greatest adventure since you've been back in London?
Believe me, you'll never know.